Hello, and here we are for this live stream. Hello, everyone who is watching and listening for this party. I do hope you have already opened your bubbly, because we did. Teacup, cheers.
Cheers.
Before we also join the party. We are the guests, aren't we? Yep. Oh, yes. Just a minute before we take you to the party, dear listeners, so yesterday was the publication date, hooray, hooray, and cheerio to CA Farlow and Hilary Huber for publishing the Paris Contagion. And it was the perfect date, wasn't it, Teacup? Although you are questioning it. It was the 15th of March, the Ides of March.
For today.
For a political thriller, the perfect date, I suppose. Isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, definitely.
Although, dear listeners, it does not take place in ancient Rome. No. Where it takes place, let's ask the author herself. Let's join the party. And here we are at the party. Hello, ladies.
Hello.
And here we are. So again, cheers and congratulations to this to this perfect date. Before we ask Hilary to whet or your appetite, dear listeners, and read a short passage for us, CA, was it deliberate, the choice of date for the publication?
I didn't have any input into the date of the publication, so no, not for me anyway. But between the Ides of March and St. Patrick's Day, and the fact that the book was in pre-order, we made it to 454 on the Kindle list for global political thrillers. So that's quite good. I'm really pleased about that.
Perfect. Perfect for a perfect thriller, isn't it?
Can only go up from now.
Going up. And it was also the publication date for the audiobook yesterday.
The audiobook is in Amazon's hands. So as soon as it'll be probably tomorrow or the next day. Yep. And they always take their time when they do all of their quality control.
I see. And so for our dear listeners and for all those who are here already, we do have a comment from one of our guests who have joined us. A congratulations on the new book from Laurie Egan. Thank you for that comment. So, thumbs up. Okay. Hilary, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, so I will. Read? Yeah, perfect. I will hand over the screen to you, dear listeners. I give you Hilary Huber.
It was after midnight in Hamhung. The faculty of the University of Chemistry and Medicine stood in a series of rows on the steps to the university's central laboratory complex. Their starched white lab coats flapped in the brisk wind. They were waiting on the arrival of the supreme leader. He was traveling from Pyongyang to see the progress of their various chemical and biological projects. This facility produced North Korea's primary chemical export. Now production was shut down due to mechanical failure at their bulk processing plant. Everyone standing on the steps knew telling Supreme Leader Park that they were no longer able to produce their monthly allotment of ice drug. was a death sentence. Methamphetamine was one of the country's major exports. The director hoped to redirect the Supreme Leader's focus away from ICE drugs to several promising projects within the bioenhancement department. A mud-splattered Mercedes finally pulled to the base of the steps. The director of the university stepped down to open the rear door before the driver could exit the vehicle. Puck levered himself from the plush back seat. The scientists held their collective breath. What was coming next? Director Kwan, my incompetent driver is responsible for the delay in my arrival. He could not find a shorter route from Pyongyang. Director Kwan bowed. No need to worry, Supreme Leader. We are pleased to have you visit our facility and see our new discoveries and advances. He stood to his full height and continued. What may we do first? I want to see your progress in the biological projects and the status for integration into our military objectives. Of course, sir, if you would. Director Kwan swept his arm up the set of stairs toward the large concrete building. We will tour through the biology section. Our 7 years of building and development have produced some interesting results. Our feedstock cultures are ready to be shipped to the Pyongyang Biotechnical Institute. Their large-scale pesticide production facility will produce our agents easily. Pack smiled coldly. Very good, Director. I am most pleased. Continue. As the pair entered the secured facility, the remainder of the faculty melted away into the dark, relieved ice drug was forgotten this night. Supreme Leader, allow me to introduce our key researchers, Doctors Huang and Ri. They will lead you through their research ideas, as well as give you a status report on the projects. Numerous workers in utilitarian-grade jumpsuits shuffled past as they entered the main laboratory building. Kwan tried to divert Pak's attention. If you will look here, sir. He pointed to an observation window overlooking a large laminar flow clean room. This is our level 2 safe containment area. Most of our initial cultures are grown here. Once a pure strain is identified, we move the cultures to our level 3 laboratory for testing the ability of bulk production. However, Pak was not distracted from the high level of activity bustling down the hall. He asked the director, "What are all these people doing moving about your facility? I would not expect this much activity at midnight." Juan struggled over before Dr. Ri stepped in. Her soft voice required one to listen carefully. This drew Pak's attention to her. Supreme Leader, we have successfully isolated and grown an optimal strain in our laboratory. To ensure viability and efficacy, we are required to perform, she paused, as if searching for the proper words, various tests. These individuals are volunteers from Kyohwaso number 9. They will be participating in a test. Dr. Ri pointed to the line of workers, heads hanging low. I see. This is very brave of them. The Supreme Leader nodded, then added, if additional volunteers are needed, I nominate my incompetent driver. Dr. Ri continued. For volunteering, they may receive additional rations or early release from the re-education program. As Pak nodded, Director Kwan pointed down the hall. This way, Supreme Leader. Let us show you our incubators and ability to explore dual usage at the Biotechnical Institute. The tour continued for several hours, ending outside the level 3 containment rooms. Due to the accident and shutdown at number 25 production plant in Chongju, we absorbed their work. Now we are working to produce the carrier and agent. Our colleagues from the Research Institute of the Armed Forces Ministry have begun their deployment methods. How soon? Kwan was taken aback. Was the Supreme Leader planning on using their work? He didn't know how he felt about that. But not answering truthfully would be a dangerous action. Within the next 6 months. Pak rounded on the slightly built director. You'll have 1 month, Director. And I expect your feedstock to be delivered to the Biotechnical Institute immediately. Pack seemed to consider his orders. He leaned closer to the director, asking quietly, "Why 6 months? As you've seen, we have a viable carrier and an active agent. However, we do not have a means of distribution." "Ah, something that can be easily managed. I appreciate your candor, Director. 1 month. Let me worry about distribution." Dr. Ree allowed her colleagues to stride ahead. She cleared her throat. Park glanced at her. Smiling thinly, she stated, "Sir, we are ready now." That's what we got.
Yeah, perfect. Applause.
Oh my goodness, what's that?
Perfect.
What is going on?
The perfect passage, and you did it splendidly. We were as if we were there. How much fun was it? How much fun was it again, Hilary, to do all these different characters?
It was great. It was so fun. I loved it. I mean, it's better with other than some geopolitical intrigue and some romance thrown in too. The best. You get the best of both.
Yep, absolutely.
While I was listening to you, I wondered how difficult was it to learn the correct pronunciations of these difficult names?
Well, I do a lot of research beforehand and try and look all the words so I don't offend anybody. I will be honest, I didn't look back at my research as I just read them, so I hope they were right. But that's definitely part of the job. I try to get all the as much research done as I can ahead of time, so I don't have to stop when I'm recording to look things up. And I've been busted before by listeners leaving reviews on Audible saying, "Oh, that's great, but she pronounced this wrong." Then I contact my publisher and go back and fix it if we can. But it happens. You miss things. It happens.
Okay, and you said you corrected. How long does that take for you to do it again or do this passage again or more passages? How long does it take, this process?
You mean if I want to fix something once it's already published?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I mean, not long. I'll contact I've only done it maybe twice. I contact the producer and I say, "I need to fix this line," and I just record it and send it to them. They do it.
Okay, not so long.
They do it, and then they re-upload. So it's not if the CDs are printed, it doesn't fix that, but it does for download. So it's worth it. I'll tell you honestly, I've done it listening to books. Listen to friends of mine reading, like, "Oh my God, you pronounced that wrong." And I'll email them and say, "You pronounced that wrong. You should go fix that." And they're usually like, "Thank you. Thank you." None of us want to look like idiots, And I had a lot of, between the several books I've read of CAs, I've had a lot of tricky words and science. Thank you very much, ma'am. Thank you for that. A lot of science. And then kind of made up words too. Right? The convergence book. Yeah. Or the quantum. Yeah.
But there's no right way to pronounce made up words, or is there?
Well, the author knows the right way. Hopefully they'll share that with you.
Yeah, true. Good point there. CA, your book takes us on a trip across the world. Yet at the same time, we said it felt like an intimate play, didn't it? I mean, although you have all these different locations and places and nations and whatnot, you still get the impression it's an intimate play, and it could be maybe not that easily, but it could still be put on stage.
I've had other people say that who have read, especially one of my beta readers who said, "You could make a movie out of this," but it's more of an ensemble cast, as you noted, Edith. I mean, the characters are there, but the plot is the main character of the book. And all of the characters individually are supporting the plot, either around the globe or specific action scenes, trying to keep readers attention with the action so that I don't absolutely overwhelm them with the information in the book. It's really hard, or it was for me, to put all the science in and to put all of the intelligence and specific about weapons and whatnot. But I was lucky to have somebody who was in the military and was able to help with a lot of that. And then one of my editors just retired from the Navy, so she helped a lot as well. But yes, it could be easily done on the in a movie or television. Pick your favorite female characters to play the leads.
And do you have already picked your favorite characters?
Oh, well, I mean, if I were to pick, it would be, I'd probably pick somebody who was not necessarily appropriate, but was very nice to look at. So,
Oh, some eye candy.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
No wrong?
No, but of course it's not. It's not. And may I ask for our listeners who might also be interested in the background of this novel, since it's a political thriller, it's not a romance. I mean, Hilary said it's in there, of course. I mean, it's a small part though. It's a subplot in the book, which is quite enjoyable. Don't get me wrong, but you also said it's the main plot is the political kerfuffle. Let's put it that way. I mean, it's more like than that, but anyway, how much research did you have to do, and how long did it take you to get all your facts straight?
Quite a while. I would say I've been working on this book for about 3 years. And that was just doing the basic research. I had the premise of the book. I had the idea of how to put a contagion out into the world, and having spoken to some physicians, what contagions you should probably use, which ones were hardy enough to maintain themselves in a hostile environment. But in the middle of all that, and trying to meld an understanding for the military and the weapons of mass destruction and all of the medical things, we entered into a pandemic. For real. And so it was rather odd to be doing research about a pandemic while a pandemic was happening. And that sort of, it did slow things down for a little bit for me, because we just suffered through all of that. But in all of it, North Korea, who is the primary focus and the primary antagonist in this book, never slowed down their work. The pandemic may have shut the rest of the world down, but it did not shut North Korea down as much. So missiles kept being tested, other things kept going on, and it was sort of an enticement for me to continue on. I mean, just pick up, even in the last 4 weeks, just pick up a newspaper headline and see what the supreme leader of North Korea is doing now.
I mean, we spoke about this book of yours before for our podcast, and I mean, in case we haven't mentioned it to all of those who are watching, we love it. Waiting for more. Again, we're fans of reading political thrillers. And the fact, again, that the romance is there, although it's not the main plot, it's the subplot. It's perfect. It's perfectly mainstream, this book of yours, which is refreshing. Again, that's also why we love it. Just saying. What gave you the idea for, I mean, it's a worldwide contagion. It's again, yeah, we keep that in mind. Thanks for pointing it out, Teacup. The question for the Q&A at the end. Just keep them coming. Also, doing all these different places. I mean, not just concentrating on the United States, where one of your main character is based, but also other points of interest for what's going on.
Well, I think so. In this time frame when I was doing the research, all of the events that occur in the book have happened. So North Korea, the North Korean supreme leader did assassinate his brother. Other things were happening that actually did. All I did was take fictional license and reorganize the events to support the plot that I wanted. So time-wise, yes, a typhoon did hit North Korea. Yes, they did have problems in their nuclear facilities because of storm damage. But again, to make the plot move forward for the main characters, you had to do it all over the world. And I mean, I'll use what happened yesterday when Russia downed an American drone over the Black Sea. Yes, that impacted the United States, but it's also Turkey, it's also Crimea, it's also Ukraine. We can't go into the Black Sea without permission from Turkey, whereas the Russians are running around in the Black Sea, unrestrained at this point. So, it's everything we do now. We live in a global community. There's no way to get around. Something we do over here doesn't impact everybody else. We have a global economy. We have, as the pandemic that we just lived through shows. I mean, everything got shut down, and therefore, what happened to supply chain, and what happened to availability of fuels and availability of PPE and all of that. So, we live in one community.
In reality, much more has happened. So how did you choose which events to take into the book and put in the story and what to leave out?
Well, I'd still be writing the book if I didn't just say I'm going to stop at this point. And an ability to look at what are the primary weapons of mass destruction that the Supreme Leader has under his control, and therefore examples of those were easily fit in to the book. And then the research is ongoing. There are still defectors to the south. There are still Chinese spies in North Korea getting information out. So there's more and more information on an ongoing basis. So we're just waiting for the black SUVs to drive up outside and take me away when North Korea reads the book, right? I don't leave the Supreme Leader in the best of lights.
Maybe they are not taking you away. Maybe they are taking Hillary away.
They won't take Hillary away.
You sure?
I don't know.
Because
well, if
her
they get
voice,
both of us, maybe we can hang out together.
I mean, her voice spreads the word. Does it not?
I'm just a talker. That's all I do. Tell me what
just
say.
I'll
say it to the best of my ability.
You're just a messenger.
Messenger of doom you are.
Don't shoot the messenger.
It does happen though.
I do think sometimes though when I'm researching a political book, for instance, I did one years ago and it dealt with Black Ops teams in the Middle East, and I'm looking up words like all these Middle Eastern words and Allah, Inshallah, all this stuff, and I'm like, whoa, you think my history is trash? I'm looking up like authors who write things like that. I'm like, some big brother is looking at all these Allah Akbar, all these things that I'm looking at. So makes me think about it.
You're on the list already.
Yeah.
Forget it. I mean,
yeah, I'm on the list already. We're all on the list.
You're being watched.
Exactly.
Yeah, we're all being watched. Mm-hmm.
And reading this book, first, ask you first, Hillary, was there anything surprising for you? Be it a character or be it an event that did surprise you or caught you off guard?
Well, I don't know about caught me off guard so much as just scared me because it really was so close to home.
Yeah.
So on so many levels, it was coming as a kid during COVID, and then obviously North Korea is ramping up more and more right now. It was close to home, and that's a little disheartening. But good. I do a lot of thrillers. I read a lot of thrillers, and I don't narrate a lot of thrillers. I do. And I'm a scaredy cat. I don't really read a lot of thrillers because I get scared. I mean, I get scared when I watch on TV somebody rifling through somebody else's drawers. I'm like, well, good caught. But for some reason, I love narrating that. And maybe because I can be removed from it, you know, it's not, I don't know, I'm not experiencing it in the same way. I love doing it, but I'm not like being scared by it. Maybe because I'm controlling it.
Mm-hmm.
You're right, I'm controlling the narrative, so it's not as terrifying. I don't know. But, yeah, I like to read scary stuff. Out loud, narrate scary stuff. But this book particularly, upsetting. If it could happen.
Okay. And CA, same a question for you. Was there anything that did surprise you? Or caught you off guard during writing this book?
Again, one Wikipedia is your friend, right? When you get into a corner and you're like, how do I get out of this? And mostly, what scares me is the lack of communication or lack of integration of information at a fairly high level in our own government. And again, I have no ends of any intelligence or any intelligence information or anybody working in the intelligence organizations, but you look at people giving open presentations to the group of 8 and what they're presenting to them. And you can hear about that because they will ultimately release the transcripts of those talks.
Mm-hmm.
But what startled me the most was I was almost finished with laying out everything, and I found an obscure master's thesis online done by a North Korean defector, and he received his master's degree from the Monterey Institute in Monterey, California. And it was one of the most compelling integrated pieces of work that I had seen that essentially tied up all the historical events that had happened. All the way back to the Pueblo event, all the way, from the Korean War. I mean, it was the most complete one I had ever seen. And I inserted it into the book so that people would have a context.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's critically important, is that, yeah, you can read the front page of the New York Times, and it is scary.
Mm-hmm.
And North Korea is totally isolated, and what we have is just what we can see when they test or when they do an action. Then we have insight into perhaps what they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
But on the other hand, the Supreme Leader wants attention. So it's like, hey, look at me over here, at the same time. So they're kind of caught in their own isolationism, which could lead to a fit of ire and then reaction when they shouldn't have it.
Yeah.
But Southeast Asia is right now is a politically difficult area to be in.
Yeah, absolutely. And the characters in your book, I mean, did any one of them surprise you or tell you off, maybe?
I had one of the editors say to me, "Is Samantha a superhero? Has she walked out of a Marvel comic?" And she keeps doing all these amazing things, and I'm like, that's who she is. I think that was. I have a tendency to lay out in this book. I laid out the chronology of events that I needed to support the plot point of the Paris Contagion. And then I write stream of consciousness. So I'll be writing along, and all of a sudden, a character will just pop up because I need this character for some reason. That was particularly true in my first 3 books. I had no idea that the ending of the first book, or the third book, would be the way it was, and 2 characters just popped out of the woodwork. So it is, because of that, I don't always know what's going to happen next, other than I can look at my little chronology sheet and say, oh yeah, wait, I need to do this nuclear test, or I need to have an earthquake occur, or I need to have a volcano blow up, and there we are. It happens. So
okay, and you just mentioned your timeline sheet, your little timeline sheet. So am I to believe that you do not have a big board in your office to keep yourself and your timeline straight? Because there's a lot going on in this book with time. And like we said before, all these different locations and places and what we said, world time. I mean, my best friend is World Time Buddy, not just Wikipedia. And yet I'm always nervous to get the time wrong because, time difference and so on.
And then we changed time, so that makes it even worse. But
don't
so
remind me.
my timeline started out on a piece of A4 paper, and I ended up with about 6 of them taped together because I kept adding, wait, I've got to do this and I've got to do that, and so that I wasn't writing in mouse type. I was able to see what was happening. It ended up quite long. It isn't quite wallpaper yet, but it is a roll of events, that's for sure.
Ah, okay, I see.
As you wrote the book during the pandemic, and people got a bit of understanding about how contagion of viruses works. Did that influence the way you portrayed it in the book?
What influenced me the most was right at the beginning of the pandemic, Walter Isaacson's book, The Codebreaker, came out about Jennifer Doudna, who received the Nobel Prize in Chemistry with Charpentier from the Max Planck Institute in Berlin in 2020. So in the middle of the pandemic, they basically received their Nobels for CRISPR. And CRISPR is the gene splicing methodology that they discovered. And it's critical to the book. And that really influenced me because I wanted to put something in there about the vaccines and how rapidly we were able to get a vaccine and move forward. I mean, I look at the millions of people who died worldwide, and the vaccine was it was a godsend. We could have done just open the doors and let everybody get infected and do herd immunity and lost, 10 million people more in the United States. Our systems were so overwhelmed at that point.
Yeah.
But I also had to kind of editorialize a little bit and throw in what I thought was important. Especially after I found out that DARPA had funded Moderna when they were just a startup, and Moderna was tasked with putting together a platform to allow them to rapidly produce vaccines against many viruses. And that was key, I thought, to be able to do that and then to rapidly get a vaccine out in not the 10 or 15 or 20 years that it typically takes. Probably save the world's economy, if nothing else. So.
Yeah.
But that's what we're going to be facing in the future is we're losing biodiversity, we're encroaching on more wild areas, animals who have already carry viruses with them are going to come in contact with humans, and more viruses are going to be trans-species and available. But all that does for an author is mean I have lots of stuff to write about because we can always do the next book.
Absolutely.
Which already has a title, by the way.
Ooh. Are you allowed to share it with us?
Of course. So the next book is going to be called Designer Genes, and not blue jeans, but GENES. So,
Still a good title.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, but how hard
A really
was it
good title.
And another scary one, to be honest.
Yeah. That's why
it's
you're
going to be scary. Yeah.
I mean, the Paris Contagion was already scary.
But it draws you.
Yeah.
It draws you to the book.
Absolutely. And how hard was it for you, CA, to rein in your nerdy side?
It's always hard for me to do that because my nerddom lives front and center to everything that I do. And all you have to do is read one of my other 3 books and say, whoa, this is a lot of science or this is a lot of information. I have a copy of an Amazon review that was submitted for one of my prior books. And I had a big tussle with my first editor about there's way too much science, you got to take all the science out, you know, you got to dummy down, blah, blah, blah. And I had, I didn't. And a reviewer wrote, thank you so much for making us think.
Yes.
And you didn't make it sixth grade science, and I had to look up words, and I totally appreciate that.
Yes.
So I have an expectation that if you want to read the book, then you can do the research, and or the research is there in this book, and you can carry on.
Exactly.
Because after the research is done, then somebody's going to almost die in an airplane crash. So there's lots of action interspersed.
Exactly. And I mean, even if you do not want to do the research, I mean, you can absolutely enjoy this marvelous book.
Yeah.
I mean, there's nothing keeping you from enjoying it, to be honest.
I hope so.
No.
I mean, when I first outlined the book, at the top of the page I wrote, Tom Clancy meets Michael Crichton. And if you think about their books, I tried to blend kind of both of those pseudo-genres together a little bit. Mm-hmm. I love Tom Clancy. Michael Crichton is good. Some of his things are awesome. But again, I think pick up the New York Times or pick up whatever paper, the London Times, and you've got to have at least a basic understanding to be able to read the articles. So,
yep.
And a well-educated populace is one who can make the best decisions. And then I'll get off my soapbox.
Yes, exactly. And do not underestimate your readers, or in Hillary's case, your listeners. Mm-hmm. I mean, don't do that. Why would you? And dear watchers, is it a word? Watchers? Sounds like Weight Watchers now.
Listeners.
Yeah. Okay. You said that those who are joining us here and want to grab a signed copy of the Paris Contagion, or you said a sort of voucher or coupon for the audiobook, please do so. Everyone who's watching, you can find underneath our picture the email address. They can email our lovely author here, and she will send you a signed copy of the Paris Contagion, or a coupon of the audiobook, the audio version of the book. Exactly. I mean, we said it is an ensemble cast. It is an intimate play, more or less. I mean, where are we going from there? Will the next book also, you've planned more already in this series. Will we continue this way? Because it works perfectly.
Well, I think you just have to, again, sort of pick a central theme, which I have for Designer Genes. And then all you have to do, as I said, is pick up the newspaper and pick a line and go from there. The technology is there. I mean, think about Pegasus. Pegasus is a spyware that was written by the Israelis and distributed by a for-profit company, a for-profit Israeli company. That may basically a person who has the Trojan horse doesn't even need to touch your phone. They can walk by you on the street and transfer the Trojan horse into your phone. And all of us live on our phones, right? Everything we do, our email, our banking, everything we do. This Trojan horse is almost impossible to find, but yet it allows them to take total control of your phone. The microphone, the camera, everything. It was supposedly to be used with terrorist groups. And there's a question that the way Khashoggi was caught in Turkey was because of Pegasus. So just right there is open Pandora's box. There's 1,000 things you can do with that.
But I think if you read it in a paper, in the news, it's news. But if you put it in a story like you do and spread it out, it seems much more scary.
I don't know if it's more scary or if it's just tying disparate facts together that could possibly make a whole that we don't know what disparate facts are being looked at now. So.
I mean, we do not want to scare Hillary anymore. I mean,
No, I don't sleep as it is.
I mean,
I'm going to put my phone in some kind of guarded thing so I can't get. Can we do that? Can we put it in one of those protector things?
Would it work?
I think you can put it in, but then you might not be able to receive any messages or calls.
Right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you just mentioned
Faraday box.
Yeah. Well, maybe. You just mentioned the thing with the Khashoggi thing in Turkey. And isn't it funny? I mean, it's a Israeli spyware used by the Saudis.
And they hacked his girlfriend's phone with Pegasus so they could get his schedule of travel and where he would be when. So that's kind of theoretically how it was done. There's a really good documentary about Pegasus out there. And if you want to be frightened, go ahead.
Please.
I'm going to go back to a flip phone where you can't download anything. You can't do any banking. You got to go in person, all those sorts of things. So
don't scare us anymore. I mean, life is already scary enough. And usually real life is even, maybe not scary, but absurd, isn't it? You can't even put that in a novel because nobody would believe you. Were there any comments that said, "Oh, come on"?
No, most of it. Well, so I had 3 editors, and you all were beta readers with a European perspective, and then I had another beta reader here that was outstanding. He challenged on a lot of different levels, and mostly it was don't start out with this person in a hole in the wall. Start out with action. So therefore, rearrange a few scenes, do whatever. What I've learned is it's all about the first sentence of the book. To grab somebody's attention and pull them in and don't let them go at that point. And I think that worked out rather well. I think the scenes play out really well from that standpoint. But it's information and then action and then information and some more action and more action. And I think all of it is pretty plausible.
Yeah, it is. That's the scary part. Honest.
Knowing that these events in some way happened in reality. Yeah. That makes it scary.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, we spoke about that before. You talked about the supreme leader of North Korea, and we spoke about his sister. I mean, she's even more scary than he is.
And she's becoming much more visible lately.
Yes.
She is taking a larger leadership, quote-unquote leadership role. I don't think you can take too much leadership away from the supreme leader, but she is becoming more and more visible going forward. North Korea is, since 1948, is an enigma in the world, and they survive barely. Their populace survives barely, but they trade, and right now they're arming Russia. So they're selling things made in the 25 plant, all of their surplus. They have the largest army in the world for a country of only 25 million people. So it's the death by 1,000 pinpricks, or is it just we're going to set up a nuclear weapon and be done? I don't know.
Is it a bit like Sparta, although with a different attitude?
I think so. That's a good analogy.
Just came to mind when you said a small country, a small population, yet this huge army. Absolutely. Yeah.
But the facts are out there, and if about North Korea, if anyone wants an amazing website, go to 38 North. It's an open think tank in California that literally has their finger on the pulse of North Korea as best as they can.
And do you think that with his sister, the sisterhood with other leaders would work?
That's an interesting question. The sister, there's almost no public information about her. And so I would be hard-pressed to say yes or no. I don't know that if you put, the female leaders of the world in a room and put her in a room, if it would work.
No, not do I. Hillary, would you like to be in the same room as her?
No.
Well, neither do I. No, neither do I, to be honest. Actually, no. We have one comment here already from our people out there, from our guests out there, again by Laurie Egan. And like you can see, she asks, was COVID the inspiration for the novel, or did you decide on the plot pre-COVID?
It was pre-COVID. I basically came up with the plot idea about 10 years ago, and there was just this is kind of interesting, and I wonder if this is how it would really work. And I'm not going to say anything because it would give away what happens in the book, but no, it was well before COVID.
So maybe think before you decide on the next book or idea. It might come true.
Yeah, if you build it, it will happen. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
If CA builds it, it will happen.
Yeah.
The harbinger of doom.
Oh, great.
Be careful.
Yeah, or a Cassandra.
Yep. Well,
Do you
it's
think
just,
you are?
I mean, yeah, Cassandra is an interesting character in the book. Sam is sort of bigger than life, and I would agree with one person who read it and said she's a Marvel comic book hero. But Cassandra kind of holds it all together. She's the one who just is at the front line and gets it done, without too much fuss or muss. But
yeah, that's true. I mean, you said before that all the different beta readers, we had the pleasure and the honor of being one with a little bit of input, because you said the European point of view. Especially, I think, Dika, especially from our European point of view, we felt it was exceptionally and absolutely wonderful, this book, because it's close what we are used to, what kind of political thriller we are used to. That's why we liked it so much, maybe. I mean, did you get any feedback from other? I mean, it's too soon, but with the other books, because in your other books before that, your sci-fi books, there was a lot of allusion to European traditions and so on. Did they receive it differently?
Yeah, I think one of my beta readers said she had read all the first 3 books, and then she read this one, and she said, if I just didn't know better, and your name wasn't on the cover, I would have assumed 2 different people wrote those books, because it was anyway.
A question, a note, a question by phone, brought in by phone. Tell us. From your party.
We're having a party in the other room, and I just got a little
question. Okay.
On a piece of paper.
Yes.
So it says, will we hear about any of these characters in the next book? Yes.
Will we? Oh.
So that's pretty straightforward. Yeah, I think again, because the plot is the main character and it's an ensemble cast, I could bring people forward without too much struggle.
Yeah, absolutely. And
will there be other characters who play a major role?
Or a bigger role in the new book?
I don't know yet. That's a good question, though.
I mean, absolutely something we look forward to. And I'm sure Hillary is going to read on and on.
She is. Yeah, and I've sent whether she likes it or not, right?
Yeah, she has to.
So
I love job security. That's what I'm hearing.
Yeah, perfect. I mean, it sounds absolutely good. We asked you that before. I mean, for the sci-fi book, the Scottish accent.
Right. Well, Hillary got that down. As I said to one of my friends who only listens to audiobooks, he does not buy the hard copy or Kindle. He said, I don't know how she did it. There were 5 Scottish characters in the room, and I could tell the difference between all 5 as they're having this conversation back and forth. And I went, well, that's because Hillary's the bomb. She's just the best. So.
Thank you.
But
don't give me sick. That might put me over the edge. Okay, don't give me sick.
You need a challenge.
Maybe more. But Hillary, there was also, you said when we met for our podcast, there is also this awards for audiobook readers. Is that for the last event? Did it already happen, or will it happen?
No, it's happening. In 2 weeks.
Oh,
2 weeks. I go to a conference in Atlanta on Wednesday next week, and then I go to New York on Sunday. And our award show is Tuesday night. It's like our little version of the Oscars. It's called the Audies.
And how many will you get?
I don't know. I have too many nominations, but multi-cast books, not big ones, but. I'm excited to see my friends. We've all, been together, obviously, for years. So, it'll be fun. It'll be fun.
Yeah, we keep our fingers crossed.
Good luck for that.
Thank you. Thank you.
Will it
deserved.
Yeah, absolutely. There will be no streaming of the event, will there?
There actually is a streaming of the event.
Okay.
Yeah, there is.
Okay.
They put on a pretty big show. Yeah, it's called the Audies. It streams through the audio publisher. I might be on YouTube actually. The Audio Publisher Association is the organization who hosts it. So their email is audiopub.org, and that's where I'll go with. So if anybody wants to stream it, they can watch it there. Another award show.
Exactly.
We all congratulate each other.
Exactly. And then another reason to drink some bubbly?
That's right.
Pardon?
And another
I'll be
another
drinking
reason
plenty of bubbly then.
to get more
Like
bubbly.
we need a reason. Do we need a reason?
No. I mean,
5
come
o'clock
on.
to read.
I mean, we certainly don't need a reason. We are Europeans.
No.
We never need a
I
reason.
But
know.
it's always nice to have a reason.
It's nice to have a reason, but we don't need a reason. I mean,
No.
You're thirsty?
yeah, always. I mean,
Come on.
Thirsty, that's a reason.
yep. I mean, we are thirsty. Yes. What do we have here?
Oh, and it's pink too.
Yes.
Is it pink?
Yes,
Yeah,
it
it's a
is.
rosé.
I love it.
It's rosé, just for the occasion. Of course. Come
Very
on.
festive.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, dear listeners, dear watchers, not Weight Watchers, we don't need to watch our weight, do we? Okay.
You always do that tomorrow.
I don't do that tomorrow because CA already said tomorrow is St. Patrick's Day. And tomorrow we go to the pub, have 1 or 2 pints and something to eat. Why should I watch my weight tomorrow?
Yeah, tomorrow you're going to watch it tomorrow.
No.
Yeah, watch it tomorrow.
Yeah, it's always tomorrow.
Yeah, that's always tomorrow. Tomorrow. Dear listeners, any more questions for our lovely author and narrator? I'm sure there is more you would like to know. Come on. More questions.
Don't be shy.
Don't be shy. Come on. Let it out. Let us know.
Stop singing.
Okay, sorry. I was singing all the time. CA had to listen to me singing when I was Not when everything wasn't working as well as it should have been. Oh God. No singing. Stop it.
That's okay. So we can the next book in the Nexus series is called Quantum Time. And so we'll really totally geek out about more Einsteinian theory and what happens. The time is really relativistic, so it depends on where you're standing and where you are in the gravity well.
Well, that opens another can of worms because since when we look who or which film won the Oscars, the question of the parallel universes.
Yep. Well, everything, everywhere, all at once. That's true. Yep.
I mean, it's a theory that was thought about, not only by Stephen Hawking.
Mm-hmm.
And, I mean, he was one of them. It has merit.
I think it does. It's a lot of physicists in today's world are trying to find the theory of everything, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they're trying to meld quantum mechanics, which is the theory of teeny tiny things, with general relativity, which is the theory of things on galaxy size, universe size scale. So how do you get the two things to go together? Is it string theory? Is it some bizarro, do we live in a hologram? Do we, have multiple multiverse that things are happening everywhere all at once? It could be, and different things are occurring depending upon what the protagonist is doing at the time. But it's they're getting closer and closer. I don't know that we'll figure it out in my lifetime, but maybe, and that would be interesting.
Yeah, who knows?
So.
I mean, figuring it out. I mean, also having proof.
I think so. I mean, having proof is what kind of proof? Do you make a wormhole inside of a quantum computer and move qubits of information from one point to the other and say, okay, well, now we know wormholes exist? Or do we really have to go out and find the wormhole or find a way to sever the fabric of space-time? And ultimately, it is about space-time. We all live on that fabric, and we're impacted. Space-time creates gravity, and not Newtonian gravity, but Einsteinian gravity. So we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. And maybe the Time Lords are also real.
What about
perhaps?
Ooh, or the Daleks?
Yeah. The Matrix are us.
Yeah. Who knows? The Doctor.
That's right.
Who knows? Yeah. Who knows?
I don't know.
Wouldn't that be fun? That would be fun somehow. One way or the other. No.
Depends.
No. Cybermen? No. Cybermen.
Look at some people today.
They are Cybermen. Yeah. They behave like them. Definitely.
Men in black, yes.
And that as well. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, the man in black or in grey suits. Depends who you ask.
That's right.
Oh, dear listeners, we are slowly coming to an end. No more questions from you. Oh, come on. But do not forget, there's still people out there, so just let me show you again. The email. The first 5 get lucky. They get a signed copy by the author, and don't miss the chance to get a coupon for the audiobook. Please contact the author via this email, and she will send you the signed copy. And also, may I say,
you should grab the chance.
Yeah, you should grab the chance, and the cover also looks perfect.
Well, and the one thing I do have to show you is this. So everybody, can we? I don't know if you can see it or not. 1956, the first issue of the Batman comic where Batman appeared. So,
which is
it was
not
a good year.
Yes, which something you will not get, dear listeners, I'm afraid.
Oh no. That one goes back in the safe. So, but no, it's interesting where I get my ideas from. So
Okay. Not just the New York Times.
that's right.
Okay. Anything else you would like to add, ladies?
I'd just like to thank you so much, guys, for doing this. This has been awesome, and I appreciate all of the effort that went into it. So thank you.
You're most welcome. It was an absolute pleasure and an honor to do that. Let's forget about all the trouble we had before with the equipment. It
We
worked.
got it.
It worked. In the end, it worked out wonderful. And I would like to thank you, ladies. And it was wonderful. And the listeners also, we wish you a happy and nice day. And enjoy the book by CA Farlow and the audiobook by the lovely narrator Hilary Huber. Okay, until next time.
Thank you, everybody. Nice to meet you all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Okay, so we are on for our it's the end. Okay, I'm not sick.